It's the first stop on the 2021 campaign. Pre-season testing is done. The teams are back at the Shakir circuit in Bahrain. It's the first stop on 23 races around the globe in just 9 months. It all kicks off here on the 28th of March in Bahrain. On the 18th of April, we are in Italy for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The 2nd of May sees Portugal return once again before the traditional European season starts with the Spanish Grand Prix on the 9th of May. Monaco returns to the Canada, the jewel in the crown on the 23rd of May. On the 6th of June, we are in Azerbaijan, Baku, followed then by the Canadian Grand Prix on the 13th, with the controversial sprint race idea being introduced there. The 27th of June sees the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard before the quite similar races of last year, the original 3 that kicked off the year, now rounds 9, 10 and 11. The 4th of July for the Austria Grand Prix. The British Grand Prix marked the dates, the 18th of July, and on the 1st of August is the Hungarian Grand Prix before the traditional summer break and a triple header. On the 29th of August we go to Belgium at Spa. Our first race since the 80s at Zandvoort, the Netherlands, for the Dutch Grand Prix on the 5th of September. And on the 12th of September, it's the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. A 2-week break before we go to Russia on the 26th of September, and then Singapore on the 3rd of October, back to back with the Japanese Grand Prix. 7 days later on the 10th. The United States Grand Prix returns on the 24th of October, the Day of the Dead, the 31st, Halloween in October for the Mexico Grand Prix. On the 7th of November we go to Brazil, Australia now on the 21st of November. The first ever night race and the first ever race for Saudi Arabia in terms on the 5th of December, and the season rounds out in the desert once again in Abu Dhabi on the 12th of December. Saturday morning here in Bahrain for the 2021 Grand Prix season opener. This is Free Practice 3. Let's take a look around the Shakir circuit, the Bahrain International Circuit, 3.362 miles, 15 turns, 3 DRS zones, and an elevation change high at 40 metres. It is the trickiest circuit on the calendar in terms of constant time. Start the lap now. Already in 8th gear, flat out on the overtake button. Maximum fuel usage as you hit the first real heavy braking zone on the track. Down to 2nd gear for the right-handed turn 2. Left as well up the hill towards turn number 4. Open up the DRS zone for the first time. Now swoop round turn number 4. Now, don't go for the apex all the time. Let the car drift out as you get the better run through 5, 6 and 7. Jump the curves a little bit into the braking zone 9 of turn 8. Really heavy, really put the power down through 2nd gear. Now, turns 9 and 10. The trickiest corners of the track. A double left whilst braking. Turn 10, hardest to crack. Go for the outside wider line. You get a straighter one for the 2nd DRS detection point on the run down the national straight towards turn number 11. Flick the car into the left, put the power down mid-apex to drift you out wide through 12 and into turn 13, my favourite part of the track. Get too much of the curves, the car will spin you round. Into 14 now, quick flick to the left before opening up the DRS once again, and straight down now, under the sand dunes as well, into turn number 15 and 16. The really 2 last braking points on the track. Flick the car into the left. The little corner there counts as the last corner. Flat out to the line. DRS open again in the first zone. And that is a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit. And welcome up to the commentary box for the start of the 3rd practice session, the last hour these drivers will get in order to test out their machinery. We look above the city of Bahrain, the Qatar Shakir area just around here, and it's the Formula 1 Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix for 2021, the opening race of the year, the final practice session. And unusually as well, this is a night race, but practice 1 and 3 take part in the day. So we're not going to see too many times change around this 3.363 mile circuit. Top speed at 132 miles an hour, 15 turns, although the last turn isn't really a corner. Lap record of 131.447 set by Pietro Dalla Rosa as well, which I found out that's how you actually say his name. I know, taking Spanish over the summer. Winter break as well. Down at turn 4, the action zone, Hamilton versus Rosberg was a controversial one back in 2014. We've seen that duplicated many a times, especially earlier on this morning in the Formula 2 race. And down at turn 8 as well, Kvyat had already sent Grosjean towards the wall in a fiery explosion, then left Lance Stroll to go on a little roll down at the 8th corner at the restart of last year's Grand Prix. 3 tyre compounds to keep your eyes on. The soft, the red, the medium, the yellow, and the hard is the white. The soft is the C4, the medium, the C3, and the hard is the C2 tyre compound. It looks a little bit more squashed on the commentary monitor this morning, but alongside me in the commentary box for the 3rd practice session is now the 60-year-old and certainly very well celebrated 60-year-old of Ian Burch. Good morning, Dad. How's your head?
Are you calling me fat?
No, I'm on about the fact that last night it was, one bottle of very expensive Moët, 2 bottles of Prosecco, and I think you even had a lager at one point as well. So very well, happy birthday.
Yeah, but I never had all that.
You didn't, we all did.
No, I wouldn't have. Good morning to Robertson.
Good morning to Robertson, good morning to Synthol as well.
And the truth of the matter is that I just had what was put in front of me, and I just sipped it slowly and made sure I was okay.
I got really annoyed at one point in the evening as well because I hadn't finished my glass of Moët and a glass of Prosecco was forced into my glass. I had to down the good stuff.
Oh, how sad.
I know. But anyway, it's David Coulthard.
The posh guy gets
happy 50th birthday also goes to David Coulthard, who is 50 years old today.
DC.
Yeah, and Red Bull have done him a cake, him in his superhero costume from that race in Monaco. And guess where they put the exploding candle? The unmentionable area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. That's on Channel 4 F1 later on as well. But
Yes, I did have a nice birthday on the chat. It's just asked me if I had a nice birthday.
Yes.
Yes, I did have a nice birthday. Oh, thank you, Iverson.
I forgot to say happy birthday.
You know, it's a lockdown birthday.
Yeah.
And when it's your 60th lockdown birthday, it does feel strange, but not for me because I'm not really a party animal anymore. did that when I was young.
Yeah, but we made it a good one.
I used to feel really strange if I didn't go out every night. And then when I met your mother, we still went out most nights, but you slowly, as you get older, you don't want that.
No.
And some of this lot could do with that.
I certainly.
Dan Tickton,
one of them in the Formula 2 race this morning.
We're in dispute as to whether or not we won the bet because Dan Tickton was the first of the season's penalties by the stewards
for Formula 2.
We think it's technicality that it didn't go to Dan because Dan actually did his misdemeanor before.
Yeah, but he did it down at lap 2, didn't he?
The other guy.
Yeah. And it was Samoa who got the penalty first, but Tickton did the infringement first. So we were saying just before, what was the betting that Dan Tickton will get the first penalty of the year?
Yeah,
and he did.
Which we were even prepared to put a bet on.
Yes, unfortunately, they wouldn't let us.
No.
The green light is on, and the last hour of practice is underway. What a surprise, Dad, that nobody's heading out to the track.
Well, this is the thing. This is the first practice session that's the same as last year.
Yeah.
We've lost half an hour from both the practice 1 and practice 2, which meant that they all had the same things to do. And so instead of doing empty track, we did actually get a bit of a crowded track at times yesterday.
Certainly in FP2,
So from the fans' point of view, paying the good money in the stands, it was fine. But from the team's point of view, it was cram it all in.
As quickly as possible. And luckily, no red flags.
And if you do have a problem, hard luck.
Yeah, no red flags either yesterday. So we've got through day one without a stoppage for the first time in quite a number of years. We haven't had a practice session stopped. The big thing coming over the evening as well, as you've got your steward's bulletin that was released, that was announced this morning. If I can see the time, please. It was... this morning at 12:26, but obviously that's in the future for us. But that would be.
If I was McLaren,
if
I was McLaren, I would be very, very concerned at the way this is worded.
Yeah.
It's in lawyer speak.
Yeah, go on.
And basically, the technical director, who is
Joe Bauer,
right, will be allowed to check
and dismantle.
Wait for it, dismantle.
Yeah.
One car.
At random. So one car at random every weekend.
So
after the
check
race.
it and have a good look. Right? Now, everybody's talking about the diffuser regulations being broken by McLaren, which they haven't.
No, it's just been a very clever interpretation
it's very,
of the
very
rule.
clever.
Yeah. And it's worked out for them. But yeah, this is what's going on. They actually end the piece as well, saying... In order to complete deeper technical checks of the cars in the championship, the technical delegate will routinely and randomly select one car at each event following the race for deeper disassembly, conformity checks, and checks of software and systems.
Yeah, and the smoke.
Yeah, the oil burners.
The oil
burning.
burning.
Doing that again.
That was the important part of it as well, because they weren't only having a go at McLaren.
Oh,
they were having a go at Ferrari and the Ferrari engined cars to make sure that they got egg on their face last year and the year before by Ferrari because they were using the smoke to enhance their engines.
Mercedes dabbled with it at pre-season testing, didn't they?
Everybody has. Honestly, this is 5 years old. This using oil to it started 5 years ago. It was started by Red Bull, who ever since have been doing the utmost to stop it happening everywhere else. But because Red Bull tried it and didn't like it.
Yeah, Red Bull tried it, didn't like it, got rid of it. Adrian Newey said it was wrecking his lovely design of the car at the back.
Yeah.
Just looked further into this as well. It said, should an investigation be necessary, the final classification of the results will be put back to provisional. Right. So if Joe Bauer finds something on say, the McLaren, which it's not
so they can actually challenge the results.
They can challenge the results,
which is true in most motorsport. Already.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that if it was happening in football?
Red cards, and then you get we lost the game because you sent our man off for no reason.
In football, right, the mistakes are made by the officials all the time.
Yeah.
Right. I
have
a nephew who's a referee, and I'm sure he will agree that they are human and they make mistakes, and it's the same here. They make mistakes. It's just they go into things in a lot more detail here. And my point is this, right? I might sound a bit subdued this morning because I'm on heavy painkillers now. So, and that's why I didn't drink a lot last night, like you lot.
We didn't drink that much. Anyway,
but my point is this, right? What is the point of this?
The steward's delegate report.
The steward's delegate report, giving them better powers.
Yeah.
Right? What a load of rubbish. They already had these powers.
They never needed to. They're just reinforcing it. It's a very late change to the rules.
Before every race.
Yeah.
Before every race, the FIA scrutinise every car.
Everything's
right.
checked.
That is Bauer's job to go round and check it. Right. What the FIA are saying here is they were either hiding it from him before, which I doubt, because he's the only person that's allowed in
everything,
everywhere. Because Murray's gone now.
Yeah,
Murray famously, Murray was famously he would be able to walk into the Ferrari garage and chat to the mechanics, and they would tell him,
exactly what was going on.
And he's about the only person that can happen to. And Joe Bauer, he's not daft. He's been doing this a long time, right? He don't need these regulations. No. Because he's already got them.
Yeah. The teams are terrified if he retires.
This is the FIA, right, trying to appease the people that are not officially, but trying to have a go
Yeah.
at the fact that Ferrari didn't get a real punishment.
Yeah.
Firstly, and secondly, McLaren have pulled the wool over everybody's eyes and done something underhand, according to the likes of some of the other teams.
Ferrari as well, thinking it. Red
Isn't
Bull
it the job of McLaren,
Mercedes?
McLaren Mercedes.
Yeah.
I just thought of a joke there.
Oh, go on.
It's an old 1970s joke, about this. Lou Macari. Played for Manchester United, so I think he may have played for City. A very famous player back in the 70s, and there was a joke going around at the time, about he goes in the restaurant in Manchester, right? And this waiter's going through with this plate of food, and this guy who's been waiting 20 minutes, goes, "Excuse me, is that Macari?" And he says, "No, it's this gentleman's over here."
Michael. I tell you what,
but he was actually me. Yeah,
the car. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to explain a joke.
Synthil says as well, do you think Mercedes are still sandbagging? Well, I think they're still, but I'm not too sure.
I think they're worried.
Yeah,
I think they're worried because they're used to having 5% on everyone else, and they haven't got that. And under certain circumstances, what we're seeing, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, is the stability of the rear of the car in heavy wind.
Oh, that put Hamilton off in testing.
And Abu Dhabi, the likes of Abu Dhabi and this track, you're going to have that because they're open.
Yeah,
they're in the wilderness. Turkey is another one that's in the wilderness. I mean, to be honest, I know it's in a hilly area, but the US track, Austin is the same. It's
treacherous winds there.
And all Lewis said that all of them suffer in high winds, but some more than others, and it's due to the rake of the car, which is the angle that the back end sticks up. Basically, basically how you can do that. Now, I've described the fact that the rake on the Ferrari is high, the rake on the Red Bull has been high for 2 or 3 seasons. Right, and it's due to them attempting to get stability of the back end, right? These Mercedes did it by having a floor that went halfway over the rear right wheel, right?
Yep.
Most of them went roughly around there, but Mercedes had that, and they had fins on the top just before you go after the barge board, to direct the air to enhance the way it sticks to the ground.
Like, it's just so much quicker through the corners, like when McLaren had that extra brake
now,
pedal.
The new regulations have meant that you have to have that smaller at the back, and the diffuser has to be a certain distance between top and bottom. The height of the diffuser can't be deemed to be excessive. And it's really affected their car. They found this out in testing. They had a theory that it was going to happen from the wind tunnel. And they have been trying since the wind tunnels to figure it out. I think they've got halfway there. And I think they've got enough. Yeah. I think they've got enough to be on par or a couple of percent stronger than Red Bull.
It's Bottas on the track now.
But Bottas, he's going to give me the proper example, right?
Yeah.
Valtteri yesterday.
Best time was on a 1:31.218 in FP2. His FP1
drove that car on their simulation yesterday until what they were trying to do was get the tyres down to almost the carcass.
Yeah. And
so they did a long run with Valtteri, and everybody picked up on the fact that he turned around and said, he was asked, "How's this car?" And he goes, "Well, it's undrivable now." And,
he was complaining like mad.
What people didn't realise is that was what the test was. They wanted to go out and see the reaction of the way this car sticks to the ground with very used tyres.
Yeah.
And that was Valtteri's job yesterday. I think they should have picked Lewis to do that because of the fact that Lewis is a better driver than Valtteri. right? And Valtteri just came over as somebody that was whinging, which
Constantly.
he was actually, he's a brilliant engineer. A lot of people don't know this about him, but he is a fully trained engineer, you know, and a Lance Corporal in the Finnish Army when he did his national service. And we were talking about that way. And in his state of mind at the moment, which is better than it was last season, I mean, the breakup of his marriage, he's a sensitive guy. He's not like a lot of Finnish come across as being, oh, I don't care, you know, everything. No, that really hurt him, right? And this new lady is doing wonders for him, actually. But he thinks he's going down the, I think we spoke about it yesterday. He's going down the Nico theory that you've got to actually be a lot tougher and almost a He-Man to actually.
He goes off at turn 1. Actually, he's locked up and gone straight on.
I said yesterday you've got to relax, Valtteri, because Nico is a very special person, right? He's a wind-up merchant who loves to get under people's skin. And
2 seconds. This is what happens.
He's a lovely lad. He's a lovely lad, and you know, and he does it by jokingly. But he gets under people's skin.
That's odd.
Perez does the same.
Yeah. So
but Perez does it in such a way that everybody likes Perez.
Need to cut across here because Bottas turned into turn 1 and literally had no grip, just flew off the road. And he was turning and just went straight on.
I mean, we was talking about Perez's time at McLaren last time, right? And I know since his children were born, he's totally different the way he portrays himself. Because he's a gorgeous family man and with a gorgeous little family, and you know, he's a lovely lad, right? But Perez has always had that killer instinct, and that's what Valtteri lacks. And if he thinks he can emulate Nico, he's wrong.
He wants to, doesn't he? Bottas came into this year saying, I need to win this title. I need to do what Rosberg did.
You're not going to do that.
Not, because Rosberg was able to get onto Hamilton's skin because
they'd known each other since they were children, and he knew exactly what buttons to press. So, because if you want to know, the most sensitive driver on that grid is Lewis Hamilton.
Ross Hunter says, morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you too. Seymour Copad saying, Sonoda P1. Don't get too comfortable with that. It's only P1 because no one else set a time, and not even Sonoda set a time. He set the fastest second sector, and that's put him to the top of the board. Synthol says, I enjoyed yesterday's first 10 minutes more than these 10 minutes. Well, no one's gone out on the track at the moment. Yesterday's opening session, everyone piled out, as you said earlier on in the session.
I think you've got to realise that if you want to think about that, it's obvious. Not trying to be patronising at all. I'm sorry. I realised halfway through that that's going to come out like patronising. I'm not. Right. This is the only practice session that is the same as last year.
Yeah.
And if you think about what you watched last year, right, on these sessions, they've done all the long runs. They've done all these little things. This is practice for qualifying.
Yeah, this is all going to be qualifying.
The last thing you want to do is wreck that car.
And Bottas nearly did that. Coming downhill through turn 4 and 5, he had a massive crack of oversteer, and he's still losing the rear of that car as well.
Did anybody watch the F2 race? The sprint race? Yeah, right. Now, they've changed the format of the F2. It's crazy. You need to be an accountant to understand it all. But basically, that is that sprint race has replaced part of their time on track and part of the time and filled the gap left by the Formula One.
Yeah, because now
people who've bought the 3-day pass were being shortchanged, so they've added a sprint race for F2 to actually fill the gap, and we got Bottas on purple.
Yeah, first sector and second sector coming to the line. He'll go quickest. There's no one else out there, but 1:33.372. Just for comparison, the same time yesterday in free practice 1, he did a 1:31.692. So Bottas very much off the pace. Synthel saying headwind turns 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's what he thinks Bottas' engineer said as well. I think Bottas went wide because of the wind when he locked up. Could have done, but a headwind is someone pushes you back.
It's not a headwind that I would think it was the headwind. It's not the headwind, it's the side wind that's the problem with the back end, isn't it?
Also, Synthel asked track limits, I think, for Bottas. No, because the track limits at the exit at turn 4, according to the actual race director's notes, will not be monitored with regard to setting a lap time, as the defining limits are the artificial grass and the gravel trap in that location.
Yeah.
In all cases during the race, drivers are reminded that Article 27.3 of the sporting regulations
Let's think about what's been said about the headwind, right?
You can't go all four wheels over the white line.
The headwind,
go on.
right? And the back end, the stability of the back end. So as pointed out, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's got the headwind.
Yeah.
Right. That should be they should be the parts of the track where the car sticks and better.
Well, track
and everywhere. So if we're only going
I do apologise. Synthel, you've been proved right. Car 77, Valtteri Bottas, lap time deleted for exceeding track limits at turn 4. So you're right. Yeah.
Because he went over the.
Now, according to the race director's notes I've got in front of me, that shouldn't have happened. But I noticed yesterday in practice they were doing that. So they've obviously still changed that. So I'm going to have a look and see if there's something else in the race director's notes.
If you want Johnny Herbert's view, right, nobody should exceed that white line around the track.
Yeah, they really shouldn't.
Right, and they let them purely for entertainment because it allows them a greater. Otherwise, it would be exactly in the order that you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Right? There's always the chance when they go over these lines that they'll hit a sleeping policeman or something like that, and they'll ruin their time or they'll ruin their entire day and have a spectacular crash or something like that.
So
Science has gone.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say this, right, to all the Ferrari fans, that car's leaning again. No, it's...
You're watching Hamilton's car?
No, the Ferrari is leaning to the right again on the front right.
So it's rocking at the back left, like we saw in testing, yeah.
And no, but Sainz actually did better than Leclerc yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were surprised at that, right? Anybody who thinks Sainz has gone there to be the number 2 driver, right? He is not like Vettel. Vettel will get wound up and start having a go at the fact that he's not getting the same as things. Sainz, he'll just go out there and do it.
Sainz has acclimatised himself to that Ferrari extremely well.
And if Valtteri wants to know how to get under the skin of
Alonso
a
second,
teammate,
Leclerc third,
right? Carlos gets under the skin of everybody. He is constantly moaning about everything because he wants perfection.
Hamilton on a 132.993
Can you remember a certain German guy that used to do that? And yet used to pull all of Ferrari together.
I'm talking. It's Leclerc, and he's going through the gravel trap as well.
He's going to the road at the back.
Yeah, the extraction road, and he's off at turn 3, where Raikkonen spun off yesterday. So maybe that wind is causing a lot of problems. We knew the wind.
There's a way of doing what I'm talking about. There's a way of doing that, right? And Sainz is very good at it.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees that Sainz moans like mad. Sainz gets his own way on this and gets his own way on that.
Yeah.
Right? But he does it like Michael does it.
Yeah.
He also creates this atmosphere around him with his mechanics. And that people do things for him.
Let's have a look what happens.
And I think that's a good example for everybody. You know, if you want to be a top-class sportsman, you want everything going your way and doing your way. Right? And Sebastian didn't do that. Leclerc, at Ferrari. Sebastian had already burnt his bridges with the Ferrari mechanics.
Way before, yeah.
Way before Charles came along, right? The reason Charles came along was because they weren't committed to Sebastian, were they?
No, they weren't. And, that instant for Leclerc, just coming out of turn 1, lost the rear of the car as well, similar to Raikkonen's. Both Haas cars of Mazepin and Schumacher have locked up down at turn 10. Schumacher more dramatically going wide. And according to Synthel saying, Leclerc said on the radio as well, I heard it in my ears as well, the grip is incredibly low. And Lando waving to Carlos Sainz on the track.
Yeah, good to get on.
That's a really nice thing there.
That's the thing. Sainz, as we say, knows about everything, but
black and white flag.
He's also very funny.
Yeah.
What is Synthel meaning there about back in a minute?
Oh, he puts stories. He puts the F1 clips on his
on his Instagram.
Yeah, that we see.
I get that.
Which is incredibly helpful.
When you're 60, you don't get that straight away.
It's incredibly helpful to us in the commentary box because I can flick back and have a look. We've got some new graphics on.
I'm the youngest old man you know.
Yes, I've got some graphics coming up on the timing monitor, just on the monitor just below us here, and it's showing Sainz and Hamilton 1-2 and where they're gapping on the track. Hamilton's quicker in the second sector, but Sainz quicker in sector 1 and 3. That's interesting.
If I haven't looked at my timing screen, see my timing screen's over there. It's a big monitor, right? Because I can't see that one.
I think I can even get that a bit bigger for you if you can read that.
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, good. Yeah, we've got 3 monitors in here. I've got a laptop in front of me that shows me wind speed and everything. It shows me leaderboard, performance, live commentary, lap chart, speed, and weather in the tyre history, which is what I keep it on mainly. Because then I can see what tyres are on.
Synthel says
Yeah.
hadn't had time to post it
because of Leclerc.
Leclerc, what Leclerc got to. Well, that just adds to your story. What Leclerc's doing, it's brilliant.
And Lando Norris locking it down.
That's the thing about Formula One.
Yeah.
I think of Formula One like a game of chess, where the mistakes are there for everybody to see, and you think, oh, this is going great, and then all of a sudden, and that's the. Anybody watch Gogglebox in this country last night? And they were doing Formula One.
Were they?
Yeah, they had a thing, and 2 or 3 of them says, "Oh no, Formula One, it's just
round and round and round,
round and round and round and round." Well, and I've heard people say that about football, but all sport is a game of chess.
Yeah.
Even down to shot put, right? Shot put, it's we've got a girl in Hull that's very good at shot put, and
Leclerc third.
And she explained that all sport is like a game of chess, and that you
pairs,
you are you're watching the opponents all the time.
Lap time deleted. Bottas again, turn 4, exceeding track limits. Perez second, Sainz third, Leclerc fourth. Yeah, you try again. Third time's a charm.
Do you think that Bottas is going wide at that because?
Sorry, stopping. Verstappen slow on the main straightaway. Now he has got Ocon in front of him.
Ocon is as well.
Yeah,
I think it's just Ocon's going slow that's made Max slow down.
Doesn't want to get caught up in that air as Latifi goes 6th. Strong again from Williams. A 1. Oh, and we've got a traffic at turn 1 as well. Cars moving left and right.
I've had a 60-year-old man moment. What was I talking about?
I can't remember.
What was I talking about?
Well, if you're watching the chat, remember him. Verstappen on a lap time now into turn 1 as well.
Yeah, and for those of you, unfortunately, Dolly the dolphin isn't here today.
The dolphin, which actually was bought as a joke present, has become his favourite one he got.
Yeah, but I'm just glad that Roland Rat.
Yeah.
There's no puppet for that anymore.
Oh, I didn't even think about Roland the Rat.
Roland.
I should have done that. I didn't even think about that. I'm sure we can get you one somewhere. There's your Father's Day present. Vettel on 135.
Father's Day's been. I've got to wait for a year.
Father's Day hasn't been.
Has it? No?
June
who?
Oh, dear. Verstappen.
Falls into it.
We're on Verstappen as well, but right now it's Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell. Russell Latifi, Russell Latifi, 5th and 6th, 134.768. Latifi, 135.264. Williams are up there with Ferrari. That's impressive, but we haven't had everyone set their time yet.
Yeah, I know.
Sonoda down, haven't done one, and still here's Verstappen. Now, Verstappen yesterday, practice 1 fastest, a 131.394. That's what we look to in this part because it's similar track conditions. FP2 was fastest again, 138.47. He set the fastest second sector time so far.
Yeah, but the Red Bull was always strong in the midsection of this track.
And it's slowest
I mean,
of all,
we mentioned it yesterday when we was watching the driver tracker, how he pulled away, going down that little kink there in the second part of the track.
Sand dune section
where Hamilton's coming down on Mazepin now. And has just passed him spectacularly. The speed. Mazepin obviously was warned there.
Yeah.
And Lewis has had to slow down for this apex and
down to turn 8, and Leclerc's just in front of him. 9 and 10. That's going to be a tricky
getting
one.
out of the way.
It's caused it yellow. We've got a yellow somewhere on the monitor.
That was another example of how fast that straight. And in the race, that's going to be an important part of the race.
Yellow sector 1.
I think that's where we could have a few overtakes down there.
Yeah, certainly. Giovinazzi goes third, but there's a yellow in the first sector for some reason. Sector 1's gone yellow, and I can't see why as we watch Norris on the board. No, look, still yellow, and not sure why.
For those of you who have smelly vision, we're getting
smell
oil fumes because the Chevrolet's just started up.
I thought we were on fire again. Norris goes third.
No, it's your mum.
She's
going for a walk on the beach, so she's just started the car up.
Bottas again. Track limits turn 4. Lap time deleted. Every lap Bottas does, it gets deleted by the stewards immediately. Hamilton now second, going for the third sector. He's 2/10 off. Improves on time, not position. 1:32.897. Yeah.
There is the automatic choke has gone off. The smell has gone because
it's gone now. Yeah,
that's what you get when you start up your car. It's electronic. You used to have to. We was only talking about it the other day, me and your mum, about when we were young, right? You had to physically pull a little lever out to give you more input of petrol when the engine's cold. And now it's all done automatically, and prime example.
Similar down here in Formula 1 as well. The startup sequence, you have to still physically start it, but the process of it is all automatic.
They're a bit like steam trains, right? The analogy hasn't never escaped me that these fast machines, right, are a absolute to start.
Yes.
Right? And once you've got them fired up in the garage, right, it takes them 2 or 3 minutes to warm everything through and to be when they first start, they sound like a bag of old nuts in a can, don't they?
Yeah. There's all this.
Yeah.
18 cars
Have you ever
on the track.
I've got to tell this story, right? I picked up a lady, and 3 doors down from her. I won't say whereabouts in Grimsby it was. 3 doors down. The local whiz kid, had Tourette himself to a brand new Jaguar. This is about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When the new Jags came out, and they were one of the first easily affordable production cars where you could actually press the different modes, rally modes and things like that.
Yeah.
And you saw him come, he gets in his car, his girlfriend slides in the passenger seat, he starts it up, and I can see him in his wing mirror, right? And he starts it up and he's going, all of a sudden he goes,
it's not working, yeah.
What's the matter? And like that, and he starts off and it's going,
yeah.
Right? And we go out onto the main road, and we follow him, and he gets to the traffic lights, and he's really worried, and he's going to his girlfriend, waving his hands and going, right? And I wound my window down, and I said, "You've got it in rally mode, mate." And he went, "Thank you."
The rally mode. I know what the car that was as well.
Yeah, so the electronics were totally changing everything, and if British touring cars, when they come out the paddock, they all sound like that, and so I knew exactly what it was. The touring cars go.
Gasly's gone second, so it's a Honda 1-2 engine. Verstappen v Gasly, and just to quickly break about AlphaTauri. Yesterday they broke the curfew. And that's the first of 2 jokers where they're allowed to be in the paddock past the 8.5-hour curfew.
I can't remember why they needed to.
I don't know. There isn't a reason. We don't know why they've broken the curfew.
They obviously found something to do. If you break a curfew like that, it's usually engine or gearbox, isn't
something
it?
like that. And they've got to change it.
Which takes a long time.
It's happened again. Bottas has just had his lap time deleted again.
It's because we was trying to explain. That's what that was my 60-year-old man moment, wasn't it? Do you think it's it's not as windy as it was yesterday?
It's windier. We've got that coming in for qualifying because it's all starting to
blow
but
in. It's not at the moment.
It's not as windy as it was yesterday. No, wind speed
I
is
used the well-known method of Natalie's dress.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you here because we've got a new update from the stewards. This is track limits at turn 4. Any driver leaving the track and cutting behind the red and white curb at the exit turn 4 will have their lap time deleted. That's different.
Different to what it said on the other thing.
Yeah, to what has been said on here. We have a yellow flag again on the track somewhere. We've got Mazepin looks to be stopping in one part of the track as well in Sector 2. And Bottas continually going through that area. Now, why have we got this yellow flag? Because I'm seeing nothing on my monitor right now. Sector 2, Verstappen's there. It's yellow Sector 6. And that is why it's Mazepin.
Mazepin.
Yeah, it's Mazepin off the track. And he was going wide and wide and wide everywhere. So if that is an extreme way of getting off the track, the stewards might just have a word with that because it's dangerous when you rejoin. So I think he must have had a spin. Must have.
I'll explain more things. Have you ever seen a windsock at an airport, which shows it's this great big tunnel-like thing that you look at to tell you the wind direction and how strong the wind is by whether or not the sock is actually straight out and things like that, right? Me and your mum, we was talking about Natalie must have brought a separate suitcase full of dresses. She's got some lovely dresses with her this week, right? And the other day, the red one was, and it's how it blows. I can't see that with the lads.
Mazepin coming through at the moment, and he just had a massive coming down through the hill at turn 5, 6, and 7.
He total locked and didn't unlock it, did he? Well, did you see that with his steering wheel? Right? Instead of doing opposite lock, he
snapped the rear.
He snapped the rear, and he didn't. He just kept the wrong lock on.
Yeah. Just he caught him again. Just how nearly Bottas got caught out earlier on in the same part of the track. It's downhill through turns 5, 6, and 7 through the sand dune section, and he just lost the rear to the side and slid across the track. Yeah. Simply done. We saw that all in practice.
I think
got it in testing.
I think the things Nat's had on this weekend are possibly better because of the fact that she was spending more time on air because. As we pointed out yesterday...
She was constantly on it, wasn't she, last yesterday?
Yesterday, Natalie became the first person...
the first female
commentator to commentate on Formula One in our country.
As a lead commentator.
Yeah. We have... Because you know me, I push the girls all the time. I always mention W Series. I always mention the foundation things because I've got 2 good daughters myself who I push in their things, and you see one of them. You see. I love the fact that she's a little motorhead, but she's also herself and things like that. And I'm a great believer in that. We don't have enough women in Formula One in the main things. I mean, we have 3 on the pit wall now, which is a big advance because there used to be only 1 2 years ago. Yeah. Now we've got 1 at AlphaTauri, 1 at Alfa Romeo, is it?
Yeah, with Ruth Boscombe, and 1 at Red Bull.
Yeah, and Ruth was the pioneer there, and now we've got a lady at Red Bull as well, right? This is what the foundation has been pushing for the last few years, and it's working. And the engineers, we've got more female engineers.
There's Ruth Boscombe.
There's Ruth.
And she's got another one alongside her this year. Another female colleague alongside her.
Yeah, and that is brilliant for Formula One.
That makes 4.
Because we have never been a sport where women are excluded.
No.
Right? It's just the fact that you've got to encourage people to want to do that and to have the talent to get there. Right? And that's working now because people are being encouraged. A girl that Joshua grew up with wanted to be an engineer from the age of 10.
Yeah.
And that I think that is so brilliant, and it should be. Megan is brilliant at maths, right? And she wants to go into law and things like that. But if she'd have wanted to become an engineer, I would have been so pleased.
It's anything really.
Yeah. But you've got to let your kids do what they want to do. That's why I'm sat here with him.
Precisely. These track conditions, by the way, Pirelli have just announced track temperatures at 45 degrees, air temperature at 37.
And hottest. What is the wind speed?
Wind speed is at 6 miles per hour right now.
See, it was twice that.
Yeah,
the other day.
Yeah, and it's going to get windier though throughout the session. When we get to qualifying in about 3 hours' time, it's going to get very, very windy.
And if Max wins this weekend, right, a woman will benefit. Because every time Max wins, his sister gets a big, expensive present.
Yes. Well,
right? Which I think is absolutely lovely and shows the love between them. Right? He bought her an expensive handbag when he first won the race, didn't he?
Well, maybe it'll be the son.
$3,000 handbag or something.
Maybe the son this time because she's just had a baby boy.
Yeah, she's just had a baby.
Don't think Max as well. Also with.
Did anybody see our documentary with? A certain person called Billy.
Completely off topic.
Sorry.
What I was going to say was...
wasn't for me.
What I was going to say was, if Sonoda goes P6 at 133.482, what I was going to say was that as Gasly goes top, 132.321, so Gasly fastest now from Verstappen. What I was going to say was Max Verstappen is currently the stepfather. They're not married. Yeah. But he's looking after Danny Kvyat's child because Danny Kvyat and Kelly Piquet had a baby together. Then they've split up, and Max has swooped in again. So I'm just saying as well. Max,
he liked her. He liked her before.
But Max Verstappen seems to be benefiting for all of Danny Kvyat's
and he can have the hand
cups.
And the baby he can give the hand-downs to his sister.
Yeah. I think they're both baby boys. Actually.
Yeah, I was.
Was it baby girl?
I was saying we have Billy at the not at the track, but he's commentating this weekend on the F2 races, and I'm wondering what I was going to ask you whether or not you thought Billy would, with the present regulations in Formula 1, would he ever be able to race Formula 1?
Yes, I do think he would. But what's happened to Vettel right now? Vettel, box.
Come off the front to the left corner. I think it's a wing plate.
Yeah, something on the floor that Aston Martin got flicked up, came inside the cockpit and hit Vettel in the head. Luckily, he was going slowly around the track.
I think it's had a wing plate or a vein off the front
floor.
wing.
No, the new floor that they've put on as well. They've got that
those
new
little
veins
wing
on sides.
veins. Yeah.
Well, I said in pre-season testing when we did development corner that Aston has got so much compacted into the midsection of the car. I'm surprised it's legal.
Do you remember those people that were here with us for pre-season testing? We pointed out the little wing veins on just behind the side pod. They all seem to have them now.
Yeah, they all got them now. They've all got them.
Less than 5-6 weeks later, they've all got them. Yeah, and that's what happens in Formula 1.
Since they were revealed.
So people who turn around and say, "Oh, that car looks so much like last year's Mercedes,"
let's copy it. Yeah,
everybody copies everything, don't they?
It's different though this year.
What have we got on this?
Synthell's return after putting in Mazepin's spin, and he says that Stroll's the first driver. As I said yesterday, I think Verstappen certainly is the first driver in that lineup. Lawrence Stroll has been incredibly constant with the fact that they are backing Vettel. They want Vettel in the team. I think this is a driver lineup that could keep around for a couple more years.
Lawrence, from what I understand, right, has the idea that he could encourage Sebastian to actually be their team principal in about 5 years.
That's he seems to be moving more into that role.
Sebastian is there and was encouraged to go there by the offers that were made by Lance's father, Lawrence.
He was nearly going to retire, didn't he?
Yeah, because he thought about it, didn't he?
He did, and then
he has been so disillusioned, right? The Mr. Funny Man, right? Because he is a very funny man, right? He love of English comedy as giving him this sense of humour that people say it isn't very German. Well, I know that German TV used to show a lot of the British comedy on TV on
they did,
the Third Network.
Great point just brought out here by Synthel saying Hamilton's slower than Verstappen, but Hamilton is on the softs, which is the C4. Verstappen is on the hards. And I thought, well, he might have just put them on. I've just looked at my monitor. Throughout this entire session, Verstappen has only put the hard tyres on.
Yeah.
And he's still faster than Hamilton by 0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping.
We don't know. We don't know. These are
I'm really
simulations for qualifying.
Yeah.
Right?
Into the last 20 minutes, we'll get it. And this is Bottas's engineer saying that he's picking up headroom.
You can guarantee that the Mercedes guys are scrutinising what's going on with Max with the hard tyres.
Oh, for sure.
But as you said, the soft tyres, qualifying in the race will be at a different time of day to what this is, won't they?
Completely, yeah.
And
night, effectively, yeah.
Yeah. So the hard tyre, I think they're just testing out the durability and hoping that the early bits of qualifying will give them top spot with the hard tyre.
I'm hoping it does. I really, really do. Also, if anybody knows how to get the raise to wake off on this Apple Watch, it would be incredibly handy.
Well,
Vettel's gone 15th fastest on 135.
I've got a little message from Megan here. If you look in the second drawer behind you, there is a small hammer. Put it on the desk, and that will get rid of it instantly.
Science fastest sector 1 and sector 2 as well. But he's just been beaten. Hamilton's gone fastest sector 1 at the moment. And going top now is Carlos Sainz. Sainz on a 1:32.108. Fastest second sector so far. Hamilton,
do you reckon Lewis can get the second sector purple as well?
Could do. I think we're on board right now.
This track seems to be just getting better.
Synthel saying, never mind. So he said, Sainz purple sector 1. Never mind Bottas purple. Never mind Hamilton purple. It's changing completely. And according to my monitor in front of me, it's a Sainz.
Hamilton purple sector 2 as well.
Bottas is going to go top here, but not for long. Bottas does a 1:31.855.
And Lewis is going to smash it.
And that is about 0.5 off of the time Verstappen did yesterday.
As long as he keeps it together, a little wobble there, little excess.
Got on the curb of the exit.
Yeah, got on the curb of the exit. But here we go.
1:31.
Lewis, 1:31.316.
And that's quicker than the time set yesterday in practice 1 by Verstappen in the same time zone. So Hamilton, Verstappen yesterday was a 1:31.394. Hamilton a 1:31.316. That's the first time they've been quicker so far. Over times of the same time period, and he's gone 5 tenths quicker.
We think Verstappen, right, and Perez are on a different strategy to the Mercedes. This is the war of words, isn't it? It's just
This is who
gets the headlines for this practice 3.
Final 17 minutes of the session. Who's going to go
further? Everything that's done in practice 3 dominates the pre-shows of everyone.
The qualifying shows.
The qualifying shows.
As the Sky go to a break, which it really annoys me that during 8 hours a day of testing, Sky never had one ad break. It comes to practice, let's throw an ad break in every 5 minutes.
Sky really have to make a profit.
I know, but it's really annoying. Synthol, do you think Ricciardo can get closer to Norris? Because it looks like he's behind. Well, Norris is 7th, Ricciardo is 14th. They're lagging.
I like the way our Dutch listeners will say that the Dutch used to do it.
Yeah.
And the Dutch used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to do it before the programme and after the programme.
Yeah.
Rather than in between the programme.
I think
that was for everything, whether or not it was Voyager or Formula One.
Yeah.
You know,
that would work better.
What Sky do is they don't interrupt the qualifying or the race actual section, and they have a little variation of that because all their adverts are done in the pre-shows and the post-show.
Yeah. Before and after, everyone goes through, and then we're all good later. Did you press the right button?
I didn't press any button. I've gone funny.
You've muted.
I have muted.
Press the wrong button. Apologies for that. Anyway,
we have some great adverts that take our eye during these things, and we're also, if you want to, the Sainz and Leclerc are following each other around, as is Norwich and Ricciardo. Norris and Ricciardo.
Because you've been watching that. Aha,
Norwich and Ricciardo.
Wait, which program? I missed it. I'm Dutch. Synthel says Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. You said.
I was just using Voyager as an example of a program that I knew that was shown on Dutch TV.
Yeah.
But Cynthia, you're
that was
Dutch.
in the early 2000s.
You're Dutch. You used to get the little Leo the Lion. Was he called Leo the Lion? They used to have he used to go like that.
Yeah.
And then they would show a block of adverts rather than interrupt the show.
Yeah.
Whereas in the United States, it is so annoying,
Every 5 minutes.
Right?
What Voyagers? It was a program.
You just don't. Whereas our country puts up end of part 1, right?
Yeah.
In the States, you don't bother with that. It's straight into an advert.
Since they're asking what's Voyagers,
Well, it's on NBC4.
I'm not really good in English. Well, Voyager,
Star Trek.
Yeah, it's Star Trek, which is I think worldwide.
Captain Janeway.
Yeah, it just Google Star Trek Voyager into YouTube and take a look because there's a whole load of them. It's quite.
I had quite a few because we're a port, and I had quite a few customers that were Dutch, and they were explaining the fact that you don't have we don't dub the programs. So these American shows and these British shows that are shown on Dutch TV had subtitles underneath, which not only helped people in your country learn English, it actually helped us understand what the Dutch word would be.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Since they're also saying we don't get ads during the races, neither do we. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Yeah. You don't get ads during the race. We're saying that your system was
better than ours.
Better than ours, and what Sky have tried to do. Now
We're
Sky in the practice sessions do put adverts in the middle, right?
Which is really annoying for us commentators because we miss a couple of minutes in the practice sessions.
But in the United States, as we're saying, when it's shown on ESPN and things like that, especially the IndyCar, there is a world feed with no commentary.
Yeah, I love
during
those
the
bits.
adverts.
I do love those bits. I get to turn the fader up.
Yeah, and Sky here, when they show them here, don't go off to an advert. They just stay with the silence on, and you can hear the radios.
Like Tom Gaymore said.
Tom
Gaymore said in pre-season testing when he joined me in the commentary box. There are discussions to end that, so there will be some commentary in the middle of those breaks, like when BT used to do it.
Yeah, BT used to do that. And used to the lad from MotoGP used to be.
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, Keith Ewan used to do it. Yeah.
Keith Ewan, because he's a big IndyCar fan, isn't he?
Yeah. So hopefully as well, if Tom, you're watching as well, I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but hopefully everyone remembers what you said in pre-season testing. You said, watch this space.
Watch the space.
Since they're saying we don't get ads at all, only between Q1, Q2 and Q3. No, we're literally, when it comes to qualifying in the race, we
don't have any.
No, we are constant throughout.
In qualifying.
Yeah.
We
not even between the sessions. We are constant throughout the hour.
MotoGP, BT Sport do MotoGP.
They do the same thing.
And they do the same thing.
Although they don't show ad breaks in the practice sessions. That's what I love. It's ad breaks around the sessions. They take the
anybody who used to take the British feed years ago. Susie Perry is now the lead presenter on MotoGP in our country.
Gavin Emmett is the lead commentator now.
Gavin Emmett, he's the Murray Walker type.
Yeah,
a great.
He's been
interviewer.
around since the 90s.
Yeah, he knows his stuff inside out, and that's what you do. Whereas we're just amateurs.
Hey,
well, I am anyway.
You are. Anyway, Hamilton at the moment.
I've only watched motorsport since I was 4 years old, and I'm 60.
There you go.
So
54 years of experience.
I go back to Jim Clark.
Yeah.
And I still have in my unit in the hallway.
The
Jim
car.
My little car that was a replica of Jim Clark's car.
Perez coming up to the line. He's P9 at the moment, crosses and goes third on a 1:31.908. So we've just saw leaving the pit lane Max Verstappen on a brand new set of soft tyres for the first time today.
I've got Bruce McLaren's orange.
You've got a McLaren one
in there as well. Yeah.
Mazepin goes 14th fastest as well on a 1:33.622. Originally, I wasn't going to say his name during the broadcast, but unfortunately, we've been. You have to. It's a liability thing. You can't exclude.
What I've said about that lad is he's atrocious, right? Anybody who's got a daughter wouldn't want him anywhere near them. But you've got to say also the lad is young. He's made some big mistakes because he's a little rich kid, and we've got to give him a chance to actually grow up.
Yeah.
Because people can do that. But basically, he doesn't think women deserve any respect whatsoever.
Our chat has literally just come back up as Hamilton's gone off the track slightly, but our chat's just loaded back up. So Beth Tender saying, welcome back, Beth, saying, will we see any 127s in qualifying? Extremely likely, I believe, if we get into that. But I'm thinking mainly a 128 we might get. As well, Rabbit's then saying, yeah, we'll see the true pace at qualifying. We just need to wait a little bit more. Then we go through Synthel as well. Beth then going at the end saying F1 Sky TV adverts that didn't make it. Max's dialysitter for the baby. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
I like that.
I like that one. Yeah.
Being a comedian.
I do tell you one.
I like that.
I do tell you as well. If I was Danica V, I'd be a bit wary because every time something bad happens in your personal life, Max Verstappen's right there to pounce. Lost Danica V out losing his seat at Red Bull. Max gets it and wins. Breaks up with his wife. Max gets the girl. And the baby, actually.
Talking about being a comedian, one of the things we were trying over the last few days is you get a subject and like zebras, and then you try and make up jokes about zebras, and that's what improves your comedy, you know.
Well, let's have a little go round with the lap then of Max Verstappen. Downhill towards turn 1. DRS open. It's from 8th gear all the way down. From 200 miles an hour, bang on the brakes down to 2nd gear, about 40, as you flick the car to the right. Then the left. Compromise the exit out of 3 and rise uphill towards turn 4 in the 2nd DRS. Keep the car in the middle of the track as well, as it sort of tightens into turn 3, as it banks at 1/2 and drops you downhill as you begin to go right down through the sand dune section. Now, flick the car. Control the little bit of a wind you get through this part of the track as well. We've seen a few cars spin off today, Mazepin included. Downhill, turn 8. Flick the car in again, 2nd gear, 50 miles an hour. Now rise uphill. The 2 lefts at 9 and 10 as well. Turn through 9, then start the braking while still turning. Don't look up the inside. Into the tricky turn 10, the slowest corner on the track, down at 2nd gear. Open up the DRS once again for the 3rd and final time as you blast down towards turn 11. 4th gear corner from 8th. Flick the car again, and then you're rising uphill through a slightly banked part of the track. Through turn 12 and 13, don't touch the inside curb too much because it'll spin the rear of the car into the wall. Drop down from 5th gear down to 3rd. Through turn 13, control the exit with the car, and now you're running downhill into turn 14, the last braking zone of the track. You're in 8th gear, drop down into 3rd, flick the car again once again to the right, control at the exit, through the little kink at 15, and then fire it to the line. Is this time going to be any quicker than Hamilton's for Verstappen? And it is. A 1:35.77.
And we can have a comparison. They're both on softs.
Yeah, and he's quicker than the time he set yesterday. Verstappen's was a 1:38.47.
This track has rubbered in.
Wow.
And that was excellent because I was just halfway through that. I was thinking, Karuni's going to be rubbing his hands with glee there because he can do a proper comparison on the Sky Pad, you know, and I look forward to seeing that. I noticed there was in one corner in the middle section, that Lewis and Max took it totally different, and Max got a little bit of a wiggle, but still corrected it, and I think that's where Max got that little bit extra than Lewis did.
I can't believe that one.
He took a chance and he took that corner wider than Lewis did.
Got the exit power,
got a bit of a wiggle at the back, but he managed to do it, and that's where the difference is. That's where the 7/10 is.
That's the little wiggle coming through turn 4 that you were on about, and he really pushed it through 5 down through the sand dunes as well. He did it. That car looked so stable as well. Coming through 9 and 10 as we're looking back at it.
It's going to be a good season.
That is going to be, judging by that lap time, that is going to be impressive. Mercedes thought, we've got one here.
I think Max thinks this is his season.
Oh, for sure.
I know Lewis thinks it's getting close, and that's why things. I still feel that on the race runs there will be 2 or 3% better for Mercedes. And I think the one to worry about is Valtteri.
Valtteri's going to be
because I think he's going to. He's going to. I think Perez will, as in by race 3 or 4, Perez will be up to speed and challenging
podiums and even wins.
Max.
Maybe, This is going to be so good.
And then you have the situation where that Mercedes have had in recent years, where they can use the second car in the lineup to actually increase the gap for the lead car.
We've seen that happen numerous times. Albon tried to do it last year, yeah.
I think that's where Red Bull are going to go for the championship this year, because I think Red Bull have got two stronger drivers than Mercedes. I'm not saying that Valtteri isn't brilliant, right? What I'm saying is he's not the pairing of Hamilton and Valtteri, Lewis and Valtteri is.
Yeah,
I fell into my own thing there. Lewis and Valtteri isn't as strong as the pairing of Max and Perez.
Yeah. Vettel's had his lap time deleted, but he's on another one right now and goes P13 at 132.755.
No one calls him Sergio, do they? They always call him.
No, it's Checo, yeah.
It's always Checo. Never. I was thinking to myself, what's Checo's real name? And then
it's Sergio, yeah.
I had this blank. I couldn't think of Sergio's Sergio.
In the group chat as well, going forward, Cynthia saying, "My God, what a lap!"
Great lap, wasn't it? Great lap for all of us, because it proved that the gap is a lot smaller. Yeah. And on a one lap thing, which we're thinking about qualifying. The Red Bull just proved that it was stronger in every way
going forward
than it was last year, and it will challenge Lewis.
Freeherd says, "Wow." Synthel says, "Clean lap, no mistakes." And Beth's coming with another one of the jokes for F1 Sky TV adverts that didn't make it. Albon seat warming service under new management, formerly Kvyat seat warming service, pre-race pricing on request. That's a brilliant one. That's Alonso. 14 number goes 14.
Alex is very much still there, but you're right. He's just like. A bit like Ocon was,
falling up and down the order. Yeah,
people. He has got a hell of a job to get back in a seat at that team.
Yeah. I don't think.
I think he'll move somewhere else.
I think he might go Renault route or Alpine. Yeah. Alpine sounds good. If Ocon
Alpine.
Gasly looks strong to move there. I was talking with Tom Gamer during the season as well, and he looks very likely that Gasly is going to start talking with Alpine or Alpine, whichever one it is.
Yeah, but
to replace Ocon.
We also know that the problem with Gasly and with Alex was the car, not the person. That the car was so set up for Max, right, and they just met this brick wall where they couldn't improve the things, and that's when you start making mistakes, and both of them did. Gasly proved last year when he won the race that he has the talent, and yet he was made to look like a bit of a joke. And that was what was happening at Ferrari with Sebastian as well. Sebastian was made to look a joke, wasn't he? Because
he was constantly the joke, the butt of the joke as well from there. It was really bad.
Whereas I'm saying that Max and Sergio are a great pairing for a great car.
And
that's Lewis might win the championship, but I've got a feeling Red Bull might, because they've got the stronger driving lineup, might actually win the constructors.
They stand a good chance. I said they'll win their first race in Canada.
And who knows? We'll have after the first 3 or 4 races, we'll have a better idea of whether or not Max could win this year, right? Everything suggests that he's got everything in his pack of cards to do it.
That lap time.
7
tenths faster.
And these abilities that he's already shown during his career, and he's a lot more mature now.
He said about career rubbing the lads. I've just thought about what's going to happen in qualifying, and I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a great season. Cynthia asks, is Ricciardo or Norris first driver? He says Ricciardo? No, it's Norris, and that's been confirmed. Norris is the first driver. It was said at the team launch as well. I am the first driver.
Yeah, but I know what they mean about that, because Daniel's got so much. But Daniel will take. This is his 5th team.
Hello.
He will take.
Yeah, sorry. We've got practice starts happening at the end of the pit lane. Several cars lining up to do them. Look at this. We've got. Well, there's a lot more there. There's a lot less there now. Actually, there's still 6 cars at the end of the pit lane doing practice starts. That's a new one. Go on. Oh, sorry. Beth has also come in saying F1 Sky TV adverts that didn't make it.
There we go.
New diet Alpine Cola. I can't believe it's not Renault. It's not Renault. I fell into that trap in pre-season testing calling them Renault.
Does anybody remember the Renault Alpine? It was a lovely little sports car, a bit like the Triumph sports car that
lovely little car.
was the first Bond car. Was that a Triumph?
I think it was a Triumph.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
Dr. No. Well, I'll tell you
Dr.
what.
No, yeah.
Nice segue, because we haven't yet mentioned on there this year the name of Sebastian Vettel's new car. It's Honey Rider.
Honey Rider, who is was the first Bond girl.
Yeah. It should have really, if it was going for that, should have been really the first film the Aston Martin was in, which was GoldenEye.
And
but
you can imagine,
go on.
Beth, Beth might like this. Can you imagine him coming home? Honey Rider, really, Sebastian?
Yeah.
Really?
I know.
And his little girl's going, really, Daddy? Really?
Checkered flag is out, the session's over. No, but I suppose he couldn't really name it after.
And his son going, good on you, Dad.
Yeah, but
might only be 6 months old, but there's a thumb up.
I bet he couldn't really call it what the first Bond girl was in the first film that the Aston Martin DB5 was in, because that was Pussy Galore. I don't really think he could have named the car Pussy Galore, do you?
I don't get it.
Janae, you can't really, you can just get away with Honey Rider. You can't really call your Aston Martin Pussy Galore. I mean,
still don't
actually,
get it.
we've had worse. He did have, what was it, Kate's, he had Kate.
Oh, there
Kate's
was the saucy
Randy
Mandy type thing.
Yeah. Kinky Kylie. He's had some.
I didn't even know he knew your mother.
I'll tell you what,
his mother's called Amanda.
He's had some great cars, hasn't he, Vettel? Yeah. Vettel's had some great cars. I remember when he did that as well. She said, what? She took it back. That was 10 years ago, Randy Mandy's car.
Yeah.
And
I was telling your mum about my...
Luscious Liz.
Luscious Liz,
Luscious Liz, remember that
That's the one he nicked off Mark.
Yeah, 2010. And then it was Kate for 2009. And then 2010, the first half of the year, was Kate's dirty little sister.
Yes.
We've got the qualifying pace, and this is how they think, the computer from AWS, this is how they think qualifying will turn out, with Verstappen on pole, followed by Hamilton, Gasly, Bottas, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Raikkonen, Stroll, Ricciardo, top 10, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Norris, Vettel, Tsunoda in Q2, and in Q1 going out, Alonso, Russell, Schumacher, Mazepin, and Latifi. That's an interesting grid. If that's the grid, I'll be excited for that. Because if AlphaTauri get up there, that'd be brilliant. I can't wait. This is brewing, isn't it?
Tauri were going strong back end of last season.
Yeah. My pens have just fallen over in the commentary box.
My daughter will be with you for qualifying as long as she gets into gear.
Yeah. Megan will join me for qualifying. I don't know if you're coming in Q3. Let's see how it is.
No, I doubt it.
Oh, well, Megan joins me for qualifying. We're all four together for the first race of the year. Can't wait. That's going to be such a great race.
I've got to have a sleep in the afternoon now. I'm 60.
Afternoon
I've got to
nap.
have an afternoon nap. And a morning nap and an evening nap. And
you're just like a cat now, aren't you? Wow. There you go. Going forward as well, Beth Tan says GTA. Is that Grand Theft Auto? Oh, who doesn't love a bit of GTA? That's Grand Theft Auto. I do. I love playing it. So, cars coming back into the pit lane then. Checkered flags out. And who's this? Who's taking the second checkered flag? Who hasn't taken the flag that's already on the track? Everyone's done it. So, why the marshal's waving an extremely large checkered flag, quite similar to ours here in the commentary box?
He's just enthusiastic, I think.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Well, let's hope he'll be waving her on the track later on for... hopefully, Max Verstappen, who's
dominated
noticed this.
Going back to MotoGP, right? When BT was doing it from the BT Tower, right? They had those advertising bits doing their stuff, and the Pagoda's got it now.
Yes, yeah, the Pagoda's got it.
Where the advertising goes up in sections up. It looks quite good.
If you are still joining us for qualifying, we are on air 2:40 GMT for the build-up, and then Megan joins me for the bit of the pre-show. And if you're joining us tomorrow, 3:30 British summertime, our transmission starts. Join us as well at 17:55 British summertime for the first MotoGP race of the year. Fingers crossed we bring that to you live.
Have you seen the Sky advert with Grosjean?
No.
Smoking is dangerous.
I thought it would be grilled barbecue steaks. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
one. Well, Seto Kaiba says Vettel versus Alonso for the championship at the back of the field. Well, they had lap times deleted constantly in this one.
That's another thing. The two girls from Leeds said
we've got 2 minutes gone.
The two girls on Gogglebox from Leeds turned around and said when they saw Grosjean, they thought he was a really handsome man.
Oh, I've read he was on Gogglebox.
I never really thought about it. I've known him for so long. That he's quite a handsome dude, really, isn't he? I don't.
In IndyCar this year, of course. Right, it's.
His wife looks better from where I'm concerned.
Have I gone through the order? I haven't. No, I'll go through the
order. Let's go through the order.
It's Verstappen, Hamilton, Gasly, Bottas, Perez, Sainz, Raikkonen, Ocon, Stroll, and Ricciardo. The top 10 from Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Tsunoda, Vettel, Alonso, Norris, Russell, Schumacher, Mazepin, and Latifi down in 20th due to a lap time deletion.
Good race, good session by Russell. Mazepin is where you expect him. Latifi, I feel, could have done better.
Yeah.
Mick is just like Mazepin getting used to the car, right? George took advantage of that. I was hopeful that Williams would be a bit higher than that. Lando really shocked me where he is. Alonso and Vettel are in about the places you expect. Tsunoda, I thought he might be a bit higher as well. Giovinazzi did well to get into 12th. Charles, obviously, they're sandbagging at number 11. And the top 10 this week, Danny Ricciardo at number 10 with... We've only got 10 seconds left.
Yeah, we've really got another long because we've got a shutdown warning on the monitor. So, right, we will be back in 1 hour and 34 minutes time. That's 14:40 GMT. My thanks to Ian Burch for joining me in the box. Megan joins me for qualifying. And I think with this, we've got a cracking season ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Right, we'll see you later.
See you later.
It's bye for now.